All right, this is Ed Carbajal, and I'm here with a young lady that I met out and about on. I was at a horror con. For folks that know me, they know I'm a horror head, and I go to horror conventions. And by chance, I met Pam Brown here, who runs Veracity Marketplace, and they sell a bunch of really great CBD products. Being a new year 2023, everybody's looking to do something to better themselves. And I take CBD normally just to sleep and inflammation because of jujitsu and stuff. Pam and I got to talking about that, and I said, you know what, you need to come on the podcast. So, welcome, Pam.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
So, what got you into this before we even get into like the benefits and the options that you have on your website at Veracity Marketplace for selling these products? What got you into this business in the first place?
It goes back a while. I started becoming a holistic health guru probably about 12 years ago when I had some really bad experiences of some really severe, horrible adverse events from toxic medications, pharmaceuticals. And I just became a health fanatic. I started reading peer-reviewed medical journals. I started studying holistic health on my own. And I realized that 95% of all diseases are inflammation based. So I started interviewing world renowned doctors and just started really diving into all of this stuff. Then, when I came across CBD, and I realized that CBD is massively anti inflammatory. And due to the anti inflammatory effects, it has many health benefits. When I start talking about it, I'm not allowed to talk in certain terms because the powers that be, am I allowed to call them the Fraudulent Drug Association? They govern what it is I'm allowed to say. But I can tell you from my own personal experience, I've had such great results with CBD and sleeping, anxiety, and several different avenues. I've cured my own autoimmune disease. CBD was a part of it because CBD actually affects the microbiome, which the microbiome affects many different areas of your body, but we'll get into that later. That's a whole other story. But I had such good effects with it that I don't know. Do you ever do something and something just drives you and you don't even know why you're so driven to do something? And next thing
Yeah,
you know, there you are because it was meant to be.
yeah, for sure. And one of the things that that got me you and I talking was I just walked by your table and I saw that you had the product there. So when I was on my way out, I went to the con and I talked to Eric Roberts and all those people that I went to see. And then on the way out, I was like, I'm running low on CBD oil myself. And I mean, folks, you know, by now combat sports fans, people that train, a lot of athletes already have somebody sponsoring them or whatever. CBD, the three letters of CBD come up often for anyone that watches like MMA, jiu-jitsu, stuff like that. So I take it, like you said, for inflammation. My left knee always likes to bother me especially when the weather changes like it does now. I have some trouble sleeping, especially on Sunday nights before the work week starts, and CBD helps me with like just keeping the inflammation at bay and sleeping better at night when I do take it. And I was running low, and I saw your table, and I asked you some questions about stuff, and I was actually with everything you just said, I was actually surprised when I mentioned it to you how popular amongst combat sports athletes and personalities the product is. And you were kind of like, really? And I was like, yeah. And then that's how we kind of started talking. And again, for folks that don't know, she gave me two samples. I've already I took my first because I used to take another one, and I took hers. And was it so the first Sunday of this year, New Year, and delicious. Number one, tasted great, and I probably felt the effects of it faster than the other stuff that I was taking. So I'm veracitymarketplace.com is where you can get your own um, if you want to pick it up. The other thing that impressed me about your stuff, Pam, was the options that you have for folks as far as like dosages, not just flavors, but like various dosages, different. You have the bath bomb. Can you just tell us about the other options that you have?
Sure, actually, so behind me, if I can spin around, maybe you can see, you can refresh my memory. The one thing that you might be interested for unique, this is pain rub, CBD pain rub. This actually has 3,500 milligrams of CBD. I have one that has 5,000 milligrams of CBD. You don't find that high of a quantity of CBD in a product very often. I'm sure they're out there, but all the other ones, when I started out, I had 1,000 milligrams per bottle. So this one's really great. The transdermal effect, it goes straight into the joint and to reduce the inflammation. So you're getting like a spot treatment. So you can do this along with your the drops that you use. Um, I also have, like you said, I have many different flavors, many different milligrams. I have this one here. It's a water soluble nano. Because CBD is hard to absorb, you need
Hmm.
to take it with some type of oil to have it absorb. Well, this is a proprietary formula which makes it easily absorbed by the body, so you have to
Hmm.
take less milligrams. So this one is actually 600 milligrams. I like to take this one because of the instant effect. But I
Hmm.
still also do take just a little dab of coconut oil, organic coconut oil, every time I take it. Just a small little dab because it's calorie dense coconut
Hmm.
oil, but it's good for your body. But that also to help it push it along so it's more absorbable. Then I have the 500 milligrams chocolate mint, 500 milligrams of different flavors. I have fruit punch. My orange, that's got to be the one you took. Everybody
Hmm.
loves the orange, the best. And then chocolate mint second. Those are my two best sellers. But I searched the world over for the highest quality product I could possibly find. And the one thing that's really important for everybody to know is you have to always need to make sure it's third party certified. The
Hmm.
certificate of authenticity. There's a lot of brands out there. They're catching them and pulling them, but they're not putting CBD in the product, even in certain uh, circumstances. So it's really important to make sure it's a high quality CBD that's got the
Hmm.
certificate of authenticity. Mine has it's tested for there's no harsh chemicals. It's organically grown hemp. I'm getting off the subject here. I have some of this, but I don't think I'm giving it up because I only have about 6 or 7 bottles left in stock. This is a hand sanitizer. I've
Oh
taken
wow.
out all the harsh, toxic chemicals um, out of the hand sanitizer. I should go this way. Let me see. Um, did
Is it
you
on the
know?
website or no?
I believe it's still on the website. I only got a
Uh-huh.
couple of bottles left. I have to call the supplier to see if they have more in stock. If they don't, I'm keeping the last of the bottles. This has got an orange flavor in it. It's got the orange peel citrus
Hmm.
extract in here, and it just smells so good. But did you know that hand sanitizers are actually toxic to the human body? So through the past two plus years, everybody's walking around with the hand
Yeah.
sanitizers, and they are destroying their
Yeah.
microbiome and all
I
the
actually found that out the hard way
toxic
myself.
effects.
Yeah, it's funny you're saying that. I actually found that out the hard way myself. Like a year ago, with the winter, I have eczema, and like you said, everyone was told to wash your hands, or use hand sanitizer. So every time I did something at the beginning of, especially at the beginning of COVID, I was using my hand sanitizer all the time. Then I get this infection, and my doctor tells me you're using too much. He's like, you have eczema. Your hands are a little bit more sensitive than other people's, and I wound up getting a really bad. I actually still have the scarring on my hand from the infection that I had gotten when that happened. So yeah, I found that out the hard way. Um,
Mm.
One question I have for you though that comes up a lot when it comes to a CBD product is, people always talk about full spectrum or isolate. I don't even know the difference, and which one does your product fall under?
I have them all. There's
Okay.
full spectrum, broad spectrum, and isolate. I have the majority of my products are broad spectrum because CBD contains terpenes, those different products that go into the product that are beneficial. That
Hmm.
when you have all of those in there, they come from the plant. And when you keep them all in there, you get an entourage effect. You're getting the benefits of all the different parts of the plants, but you're taking out all of the THC in the broad spectrum. In the isolate, You're taking out all the terpenes. You're only doing pure CBD only, which I find is not as effective. You're not getting the entourage effect. You're not getting the
Hmm.
full effect from the whole plant. The full spectrum, you're keeping the terpenes in, but you're also allowing up to 0.03% THC. So isolate and broad have zero THC. So if you have to take any kind of drug test, I
Mm.
tell everybody, if you got to take a drug test, maybe you might not even want to take it. But that's
Yeah.
just more to cover myself.
Yeah.
Because if something goes haywire somewhere in the chain somewhere, I don't want to be responsible for
Hmm.
that. But the full spectrum does have a slight bit of THC in there.
Mm.
That's the difference between the three. And I have them all. I sell mostly broad spectrum because it is the best, with the best benefits.
And one of the questions I had was about dosage and the range of products, but you kind of already went over that, which is again, that's the other thing that I was super impressed. I just want to bring up the website for folks that watch the video version of this. A very well done website. I know you do. You said you do a lot of graphic and artwork yourself too, and I was really impressed with how you have the list of facts for the benefits that not just what we're talking about here, but there's stuff on here like if you really want to educate yourself about CBD in general, I found your website to have more than what your average CBD seller offers. I was really impressed when we were talking on the phone last week. So if you have any more information you want to comment on that, please do.
I build all my own websites. I do all my own artwork. I love building websites. I'm an artist. But I'm also an investigator. I've been an
Mm.
investigator for 27 years, some of which is in the medical side of things. And like I said, I've been studying holistic medicine, and I do deep dives into the truth. And well, there you go. There's all my citations right
Yeah,
there. That's
that's what I was looking for.
PubMed. That's NCIB, NCBI. I'm sorry. There's all type of information. You're only allowed to say certain things on the websites.
Hmm.
I'm not allowed to really go into the truth, and even disclosing all of the, like right here I pulled peer reviewed medical journal articles from some of the world renowned medical journals,
Hmm.
and even that they don't want you to say too
Yeah.
much. So everything I say, when I say everything today, I have to say that this may help with inflammation. It potentially can, be good for your sleep. I
Yeah.
cannot say that it cures, diagnoses, heals, reverses, or anything to do with curing disease because I'm governed by guidelines. And I also have to put a disclaimer out there. If anybody needs to do anything, use CBD. Always consult with your pharmacist or your medical doctor, preferably, you know,
Yeah.
um, naturopath type doctor,
Yeah.
because allopathic doctors don't know anything about what I know. They're not educated in this
Mm.
area. They have no clue, no desire to. I'm sorry, no desire to know these type of things. Functional medicine doctors will tell you everything you need to know, but that's a whole other story. But
Yeah.
always consult with a professional that you trust,
Yeah. I mean that
especially if you're using medications. And I wouldn't recommend it for anybody that's nursing.
for sure. For sure. Definitely, like you said, consult with your doctor, medical professional, whoever you like to go to. That's what leads me to my next question. Like, as far as concerns, what are like side effects, potential side effects of just taking the product, not your product, just in general. Again, as someone that's been I've been taking it for a while. I was taking another product for longer than obviously just before I started taking yours, and I definitely liked yours better. But as far as like when you hear people ask you about side effects or concerns, what should they be concerned about, and what do you hear the most like when people do ask that question?
The I don't hear any side effects other than on occasion. Some of my customers say they got more tired. But that's not to say I only have X amount of customers anymore. The other side effects are known to be nausea, little gastrointestinal distress, tiredness, dry mouth. Um, I wrote a few down because those are the ones that I'm familiar with. Oh, some people say it changes their appetite,
Mm,
and also this I found interesting: increased sleepiness or tiredness when used with kava or St. John's wort,
mm,
and possible diarrhea. Those are the ones through my research that I've found. But again, everybody should research, especially when you're using some kind of medication, to see if there's any interactions that which can induce some type of side effects. But
mm.
unlike the pharmaceutical industry, I'm pretty much an expert in adverse events. I can ramble on, like the commercials do. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
with all the
it's funny, like the even whether even with the other product, like when I've taken it, the tiredness thing I've definitely felt, but that's the whole reason I'm kind of taking it too, because
taking
I'm
it.
having trouble getting sleepy. So, and I do feel it, like maybe it's a little harder to wake up the next morning, but as soon as I get out of bed and I start moving around, then it just wears off, and
No,
then
I've
I'm
never. That's not known to be an effect.
mm,
Usually,
mm.
you get a good night's decent sleep, but everybody's different too. Everybody's
Yeah,
different.
no, that's what I mean. Like I sleep well. I just when my alarm wakes me up, it's a little bit harder for me to get out of bed in the morning. I mean, again, it's only I don't take it often. It's usually it's Sunday night is when I take it. Um, but that's like I said, that was the other product and your product. It's the same thing. But if I had to personally say a side effect from taking it in general, that's the only one I felt. And again, it wasn't anything that was long lasting. As soon as I put my feet on the ground and got out of bed and started making my coffee and stuff, it just wore off. But it was just like, you know, wake not wanting to wake up from the best sleep of your life type of feeling. You know what I mean? But that was pretty much what I'm getting at. Um, but so outside of the website, like I know you said you didn't have any social media set up or anything like that yet, but like how long have you been doing it, and are you gonna be adding any place like are you gonna go Instagram, anything like that, for folks to start becoming more aware of the product?
Not really sure if I'm going to go that route or not.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to do some search engine optimization to boost my sales,
Mm-hmm.
which I do quite a bit of that. But I might do some. But here's the thing, you can't sell on Amazon. You can't advertise through Google. You can't, I don't know if you're familiar with the story of what happened years ago. In the 30s, the Rockefellers brought the pharmaceutical industry over here from Germany. And
Mm-hmm.
when they did that, what they needed to do is they needed to wipe out any competition that really, had medical benefits to it. So what did they do? They attacked marijuana, and next thing you know, they destroyed its credibility. It was used for the longest time to cure diseases and to treat diseases.
Mm-hmm.
So they destroyed the entire industry, and there's still, those powers that be. They don't want you to be able to use these things and or know about the great benefits, and this is their competition. So there's certain limitations. I wanted to go sell on Amazon. I've got, a case of several hundred bottles of that orange. I said, maybe I bought a little bit too much. Let me sell on Amazon. No, you can't sell on Amazon. You can't even, bank accounts are limited because of CBD. There's so many limitations.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
was planning to really just boost my search engine optimization. And word of mouth is spreading. Word of mouth is just spreading. Once you take this stuff, and then people tell their friends, like, I started out with my family and friends, of course,
Mm-hmm. Well,
and then
yeah, I mean that like
people, and they tell two people, and now it's just,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, so the website right now is where folks can go to get the product, how and whatever options that you have. VeracityMarketplace.com. I see you have it for pets too, which is really cool. Um,
yes.
you just mentioned the rub, which I'll have to get to try for my knee, and then I've again there's two samples that you were kind enough to give me. So far so good. I love it. Um, are you planning on? Are you going to be at any conventions anytime soon to sell any? Or I know they're coming back to this area where we met. I think in February or March, I believe. So I didn't know if you were going to do any more vending at conventions, but
sure. That one, the price was a bit pricey because when
Mm,
you go down there, now you got to add in your hotel,
yeah.
travel, and your time. Um, and it's, I did have an idea because they gave that to me at the horror show.
Hmm.
Um, the one person said, "Well, why don't I make all my own labels. I do all my artwork, all my own design. I have to go by the guidelines from the manufacturer as far as
Hmm.
all the dosage and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I can create any kind of label." And they said I should put a horror label on it. So create a horror brand for the horror show. But the
Yeah.
price of the table is pretty pricey. Plus, you add
Yeah.
the hotel and the table in together, you're talking about $1,000 before you even make a profit. So
Hey, well,
that's
maybe if maybe sponsor some fighters in the upcoming year, because again it's actually pretty popular to do. I mean, if you want to get your, they hang their stuff off the side of the cage sometimes, or the side of the ring, with all their sponsors and stuff like that. And there's definitely a market for it. Jillian DeCourcy, who she's the Invicta FC atom weight champion. I know she's got someone that sponsors her regularly that she competes, but that's just an example of the presence of the product in mixed martial arts, combat sports, kickboxing, Brazilian jiu jitsu, and there's definitely an untapped market for you to
yeah.
go into, where I feel like you could help. Not, I mean, never mind just succeed in your business, but help a lot of people that deal with, like, again, inflammation and just dealing with pain and anxiety. Again, as somebody that's tried it, what you put out there, I love it, and I couldn't recommend it more.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I ran into you and I didn't know all these things, and now I do. There's one thing I'd like to bring up that's really important.
Hmm.
Actually, two things that there's a lot of information that's hidden from people. We're all starting to become aware of the world we live in now and how there's so much lies and deception out there. Where being a fraud specialist for 27 years, I've been well aware of it for a long time. But the one thing is they hide this type of information. Did you know that NSAIDs destroy cartilage? So as athletes, this is super important. People using the NSAIDs,
Hmm.
the health effects are extremely detrimental. So some people may be using, aspirin as an
Yeah.
anti-inflammatory, NSAIDs as an anti-inflammatory pain reliever. And when you look at the data that supports all of this, it's profound. I'll just read you a little bit of this. Regular use of NSAIDs have been linked to an increased risk of heart disease, renal and gastrointestinal toxicity, gastrointestinal bleeding, ulcers, liver damage, increased blood pressure, and the risk of heart failure exacerbation. And I could go on about
Mm.
this, but I know your time is limited. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm kind of an expert in toxicity.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
so anyway, that I just thought that's really important for people to know. And even now, Tylenol is not anti-inflammatory, and I don't know
Hmm.
if a lot of people even know that. But it is used as a pain reliever, and
Yeah.
it's been dubbed the most toxic, deadly over-the-counter medication out there. It kills people,
Mm.
and it's also got all of these different detrimental side effects. A lot of renal failure.
Hmm.
I could go on about the list. So
Yeah.
when you look at that and compare it to the potential side effects of CBD in comparison. And then
Hmm.
if I can go into just a little bit about the endocannabinoid system.
Sure.
So everybody has this system in their body, and they didn't really talk about it much until the 90s, and now they still don't talk about it. But we
Hmm.
have cannabinoid receptors in our body, where our body makes cannabinoids itself. And when your endocannabinoid system goes out of sync, and it goes out of balance. This is what they believe creates all these different diseases from seizures and depression and anxiety and inflammation and heart problems and the list goes on and on. Um, this product here puts the it's called phytocannabinoids into the body, which brings the body back into homeostasis. So all these systems that go out of whack and out of balance, this is believed to bring the body back into homeostasis. So
Hmm.
not only are you getting all these benefits for the things that you're feeling, you're getting benefits for things that you might not even realize you're getting benefits for. So that system is really important. It affects and influences how we eat. It influences balances of our gamma, our neurological system.
Yeah.
Protects and regulates our immune system, known to protect and
Mhm.
regulate our immune system. It does all these other great things at the same time
Mhm.
while reducing inflammation in the body, which again, 95% of all diseases are inflammation based.
Mhm.
The big to do with this is I help people heal diseases. When I say I've interviewed world renowned people, I've discovered how they cure and reverse diseases holistically by diet, nutrition, and lifestyle.
Yeah.
And the CBD is known to or potentially can benefit the microbiome. And the microbiome is where your immune system is. And that's where there's this thing called leaky gut. And this helps to reverse potentially can reverse leaky gut syndrome, which leaky gut is the reason for the autoimmune diseases.
Mhm.
One of the main reasons, so it can potentially reverse. There's a doctor, Dr. Terry Walls. I've been to her seminars. She
Mhm.
cured her own multiple sclerosis. There's doctors out there that are curing, reversing, healing, and preventing diseases holistically. And when I cured my autoimmune disease, the CBD was a big part of it. So there's a
Mm.
lot more to the story than just muscle soreness, and sleep is big with
Yeah.
building muscle for the athletes, and
Well, yeah, it's part of the
muscle
recovery
soreness,
process. Yeah.
recovery of muscle soreness to speed it up so you can get back out there. I should
Mhm.
have worn my old Apollon gym shirt back then. I dated a couple bodybuilders, so I know a little bit about the animal. And I lived in the gym years ago. Maybe it'll motivate me to get back in there.
Well, it is the beginning of the year. I mean, that's why I was kind of the other reason why I kind of wanted to bring you on the first episode of the year that we're doing was kind of like, people are always looking for just new ways to improve themselves or new ways to deal with old problems. And your product is obviously something that not only we see commonly in combat sports, but just in general, like if folks are looking around to get to do something to help improve whatever their physical situation is, whether it be, like you said, I mean, inflammation based, most things are inflammation based. But like, especially again, like myself, I know a lot of guys I train with listen to this podcast. We all actually, off the mats, we talk about, what do you do for this or what do you take for that? And, we're always trading tips with each other. So this is just another tip to add to the list of things to kind of, start your new year right and make your body, feel better or push back the hands of time for as long as you can. So
Mhm.
Pam, I got to wrap it up, but I do appreciate you making time to talk. Um, veracitymarketplace.com. That's where you can go and look up all of her information, buy the products, and everything else that she does. And if you are going to be at a convention or something soon, please let me know. Um, I would
I will
definitely
do
come
that.
drop by and say
Yeah,
hello. And if
I
there's
have to
if there's
see what
anything
other
else,
ones
what's
are
that?
out there. I have to see what other ones are out there.
Yeah.
Coming up.
And if there's anything else you want to plug before I we call it a show, by all means, go right ahead.
Now, the only thing I want to say is even if you didn't use my products, just make sure you get a high quality, third party tested, organically grown hemp. And the most important part of all, it it should be grown in the USA. Grown outside the USA, this plant pulls in all the toxicity into the plant
Mm,
itself, and it's not regulated or governed. And if it's not organically grown and it's in another country, you most likely are pulling very toxic chemicals into the body. So number one, certificate of authenticity. Number two, made in the USA.
cool. Thank you so much, Pam. I do
Thank
appreciate you
you.
making time.
I appreciate you having me. Thanks so much.